Alright, what's going on everybody? So this is my impressions for Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden. So Mutant Year Zero is a game developed by the Bearded Ladies Consulting, yes that's the actual name of the studio, and it's published by Funcom, right? So I got whiff of this game like I would say a few months ago, and I'm a huge XCOM fan, right? So as soon as I saw the gameplay of this, I knew it would be something I was interested in. So I contacted them and I was sent, a little demo to preview the game. So I'm gonna just give all of you my impressions of it. So let me just say, we're just up front, I love this demo. This game is a day one for me, and if you like XCOM, you're gonna like this game. It's pretty simple. If you're not exactly into a game like XCOM, then you probably won't like this game, because this is a tactical adventure game, but it's more than XCOM. You know, they've expanded it much more and past just being an XCOM game. And if I had to describe it, you know, the major differences is Mutant Year 1 is like an XCOM adventure exploration game with more RPG elements and a narrative and story that actually focuses around specific characters. So just the general, story, plot, premise of Mutant Year 1. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world caused by a catastrophic event that caused mutations to both humans and animals. So keep in mind, the mutations didn't just happen and turn like humans into, mutants. No, it happened to both. It turned animals, it mutated animals and turned them into anthropomorphic beings, and it mutated humans to have, animal-like features. So it happened to both. Some of these characters originated as humans, some of them originated as animals, and they both got mutated. So now these mutants live in a place called the Ark. It's like an elevated place that's a safe haven for them. It's their home base. And the Ark has certain mutants that go on missions, to collect scrap, to fight enemies. The enemies in this game are called Ghouls. And the group of mutants that go on these missions are referred to as stalkers. And one of the things that stands out about this game right off the bat that I found exceptional was the voice acting for each of the characters you play as. It's really used to portray that these are not like dull generic characters. They really have their own personality. Like with the demo, the two mutants that you start out with are Ducks, he's a mutated duck, and Borman, he's a mutated boar. Very clever on the names, right? But the way the characters speak to each other and interact with each other, the game has really good writing and a really good script, voice acting, narrative, all those things. In between missions, they'll kind of give like a little backstory and, a little play-by-play of what's going on through their heads, things that have in the past, things that are happening currently. The game just has this tone of like, it tries to set up this like melancholy, dark tone and situation of the world and the current situation for them. So it's the story is really not to be taken lightly, is my point. So that's pretty much the basic concept as far as the story goes. Now to talk about the gameplay. Now the gameplay has, I guess, many different dimensions. There's the exploration, which is important because you have to find things like scrap, items to trade in at the Ark. Like I said, the Ark is like your home base where you can upgrade weapons, buy items, buy certain like ability upgrades, things like that. So you need to explore thoroughly each level, because that's how you're gonna, survive and find your currency to do the upgrades, right? So the one dimension is the exploration. The other thing is the combat, right? So with the combat, the enemies in the game are the Ghouls, and there's different type of Ghouls. And it's once you enter the combat scenario, and that's where it's like very different from XCOM, because pretty much in XCOM you go into a level and you're kind of automatically gonna get into. That's all you really do in the level is just the combat scenario, and you return to home base. In this game, like I said, there's the exploration, and it's kind of like how, you know, open world RPGs where you explore around and then you run into enemies to, you know, to engage. It's kind of like that. And then you enter the combat scenario, and that's where it becomes a strategy, tactical, turn-based games where you're giving each member of your team orders to attack, you know, defend, use items, you know, flank the enemy, things like that. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time getting in depth of you know, how the combat is, because I'm actually probably going to upload my playthrough of the demo. It was about 2.5 hours, so I pretty much am gonna upload my demo playthrough. But other than that, if you can either watch that if you want me to get deeper into it, or you can just take a look at the gameplay and you can kind of get a gist of how the combat is, right? And like I said, if you played XCOM, you understand how the combat is. But it's you know, it's turn-based tactical combat. Outside of the combat, the other aspect is upgrading and managing, you know, your character. You can upgrade their mutations. Their mutations are pretty much their abilities. So there's a skill tree to unlock as you go on that's different for each character. Aside from the mutations, you have your inventory. So you can have a primary and a secondary weapon. And one of the some of the weapons in this game are silenced, so that, and you need those sometimes to pick off enemies if you want to avoid getting in a huge, you know, battle with every enemy in the area. You can just pick certain enemies off to make the combat scenario easier for you. So you can have a primary, secondary weapon. You can have, you know, certain ordnance items like grenades, Molotovs, health packs, and you know, you can outfit your characters with like helmets and armor and body armor. You can put certain attachments on your weapons, like you can put a burn damage attachment on your weapon, or you can put an item that might cause knockback on your on one of your guns. Some of the examples of abilities that your characters can have. One was called like knee shot, where you shoot an enemy in the knee. It causes them that they can't move for maybe 2 turns, or a move like skull splitter, which at the expense of accuracy, you can get more critical damage. So there's different moves like that that can cause, you know, status ailments and all those things. So in that menu, you can just overall, you know, improve your character stats and change their attributes how you want. And there's much more to the gameplay than that. It does get much deeper. You do start out with 2 characters in this demo, in the demo I played, but it expands to 3 about an hour in. Now the game seems to be surrounded around the main 3 characters based on the demo. I don't know if you actually get to, I would assume you unlock more mutants in the full game, but it does seem like a full squad is 3 mutants, so you'll probably be able to swap them out. So I assume that, you know, I'm not completely, you know, sure. But as far as, like I said, there's much more to the gameplay than what I just talked about. But like I said, I don't want to get too deep into it. If you want more detail, you can watch my my demo playthrough, which I, you know, give a lot more commentary and give a lot more explanations, and I'm going to be uploading that probably the day after I upload this video. But another thing about this game, it is absolutely visually impressive. There's just the character detail I was really impressed by. You know, the world detail, like the foliage, and the textures and the particle effects when you're kind of moving around. The shadows really set the tone for the game. I was playing at 1440p 60. The game runs really smooth. There are some bugs because yes, this was like an earlier build that they gave me. So there are some bugs and glitches that I definitely noticed. But hopefully those are fixed by the time the game comes out, and it comes out on December 4th. It comes out it's coming out on PS4, Xbox One. I think it's actually going to be in Games Pass day 1 on Xbox. So I absolutely would recommend giving this game a chance if you have an Xbox, because it's pretty much, you know, gonna be free for you if you have Games Pass. So like I said, the game is just, you know, visually beautiful to me. You know, just the art direction and the level design, the aesthetic. I really like it. I really think it's a pretty game. And you could make the case that games like this, you know, they're not grand in scale, so there's no reason it shouldn't look good. And yeah, I would agree with you, but nevertheless, the game still looks very pretty. So as I said, I absolutely love this game based on the demo I played. This is probably going to be, this might be the last game that I buy for the year. Well, maybe this. It's probably going to be this, day one, and whenever Sunset Overdrive decides to finally come to Steam. I know it's been announced, you know, we know it's coming to PC. You know, for Windows it's on sale, but I want to buy it on Steam. So this and that are probably going to be the last games that I buy for this year. I beat Sunset Overdrive when I had an Xbox years ago, but I want to play it again on PC. So after I beat, you know, this game, I'm going to make like my top 10 games of the year, because I like this game so much. I know it's going to be in my top 10 games of the year. I can say that off the bat just from the demo. So I got to wait to beat this game to know where it lines up in my top 10 favorite games of the year. So yeah, those are my impressions of Mutant Year 1, Road to Eden. Excuse me, Mutant Year 0. It's a day 1 for me, but it's Mutant Year 0, Road to Eden. Road to Eden. Don't sleep on this game. I think this game is going to be a sleeper hit. I really feel that way. I love it. I'm impressed by it. Check it out. And yeah, those are my first impressions. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit the notification bell so you can know anytime when I upload a video or I'm streaming. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. All the links are in the description. And that's it. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.